Hi there. It's been a while. I'm gonna try to not take too long, but I want to explain a couple reasons why I was not on here for a long time, and then get into some baseball stuff. Starting with this hiatus, the main reason I'm going to give is that, there's two reasons. I'll start with the first and get into the second. The first was that I enjoy talking. I enjoy getting in front of my phone camera, cheap productions over here, and talking for a bit. Usually in one take, but it's taken a couple takes this time because I'm just so out of practice with this. But anyway, what it came down to was I was spending time doing real life things, and I'm not going to say I found baseball boring or anything, but I found it, if one of my main points of discussion is what the Orioles are doing, and the season's over by May, there's a little bit of a motivation issue. And again, I'm not a college student. I don't work in the game professionally like that. So I'm just on here talking and writing here and there about what I want to write about, really, in terms of baseball. And I just enjoyed taking in the season, seeing the different storylines, not necessarily making statistical stuff or graphics or even talking about the game on here. And it was an enjoyable season. I'm going to get into ranking some World Series matchups once I finish this little discussion here, but a number of these teams arguably are in some of the better periods of their histories, and it's just fun to watch different storylines, see different teams. I had MLB TV for the first time ever. I was playing out of the park baseball when I was bored or had extra time and wasn't with family. And then obviously I work and my job started back up. So that's the explanation for the first half. The second half, to make this quick, also, the others, I follow a number of sports. I follow F1, I follow hockey, I follow some basketball, mainly in my school. But the other sport I mainly pay attention to is football, or as they say over here, soccer. And my favorite team is Liverpool, and I've been following them since about 2012. I followed the sport before that, starting in like 04 or something, so I was about 10 then, and started playing FIFA really in 08. So it was about 4 years after I started playing that I went from kind of online playing 1v1 or pro clubs, which I have no idea what that's like these days. That's a different tangent. But I got into the sport with Liverpool, and that was kind of the banter era before Klopp was even there. That was around the time they went from Dalglish to Rodgers. Anyway, I'm sure people don't want to hear about this, but anyway, I need to stop saying anyway as many times as I just said it. But the point is, if you're not familiar with the sport, if you don't follow the sport, one of the players died, Thiago Jota, in the summer, along with his brother in a car crash, and he was younger than me and had 3 kids and had just gotten married. So not only is that just messed up, obviously, because this is already a club that's had the whole Hillsborough tragedy. Granted, that was like over 30 years ago now, but to have really after what was supposed to be, well, what was the second title in my lifetime, the first one with fans really like talking about, because 2019-20, that doesn't really count. it's pretty messed up that after your first title, where there's fans in the stands and a lot of people's lifetimes, that one of your players dies, and it makes you kind of not reconsider life, but I got to the point where, again, I was already watching baseball and just enjoying it in that sense, but then for me, I found that it hit me hard, and I found that my love for that club increased, which I've had not a weird relationship, but winning hasn't been the best part of following the club. Some of my favorite years were Suarez and Sturridge year that they almost won the title. The first year that Klopp was there fully when they won the World Series, or was that might have been before his first full year. I forget. Like, things get murky in the memories, but the Europa League year, and even the sign Alisson and go to the Champions League finally, or Van Dijk. Van Dijk was first, then Alisson, because they got him from Roma after they beat Roma. Anyway, the point is that, see, this is what I talk about with memories. Dang, I'm already 6 minutes in the video. I gotta hurry this up. Anyway, 2 reasons as to why I haven't been around. Getting into my actual point of the video, I wanted to discuss quickly now, since I've been talking for a while, the 6 non-repeating team matchups for the World Series that I'm gonna just quickly discuss in order from least to most preferential on my part. Lastly, well, starting at number 6, the one that was last year, and the two biggest media markets, the 2 most popular teams, the 2 most hated teams at this point, the Dodgers and Yankees. I don't want to see that again. I don't even want to talk about it. If that happens, I might not watch it. I might say that now, but I probably will. Anyway, moving past that. Number 5. See, I could tier it and just list the tiers, but I find that the 3 in the middle here all kind of have their reasons as to why they can be a bit higher versus at the 5 or 4 spot. Anyway, I'm just going to get into it, whatever. Reds, Guardians, I think those are the 2 worst teams. They are in the same state. I haven't seen either win a title. I think they have enough in their farm systems, and they weren't that good this year that I'm not overly bothered about that one. Next, we have... I swear I'm going to forget one. What was the other one? Dang it. Who am I forgetting? Oh, yeah, Red Sox, Cubs. That's the next one. I knew I was forgetting when I was going through them mentally a second ago. Red Sox, Cubs, that would be they've broken a long curse. They have a huge fan base. They probably should spend more than they do. Maybe the year, but probably not. I don't have too much else to say about those 2. I mean, if it happens, it's better than Yankees, Dodgers. It's probably better than Guardians, Reds. Although that's debatable. Moving on to the next one, we have... I was kind of torn, but I'm just going to go off of the fact that it's been so long for the one after this, for one of the 2 teams, and the other has never won a World Series, that I'm going to put Blue Jays, Phillies as the next one. I prefer, and maybe that's blasphemous as someone who likes the Orioles, but I actually prefer the Blue Jays to the Brewers, and I prefer also the Phillies to the Brewers. But I mean, I put them all in the same category with the Tigers. So anyway, yeah, it's cool that would be a rematch. 1993, Blue Jays won that one. I think if it were to be the case, it would depend a little bit on, I don't know. I wonder who would actually win that one. Anyway, so number 3, Blue Jays, Phillies. Number 2, Brewers and Tigers, because I've never seen the Tigers win a World Series. I would have liked them to win, and I think it was 2013. And then obviously they went there one other time in 2006, I want to say, lost to the Cardinals. I'd like to see that. I think having one of, if not the best pitcher in the game, Tarek Skubal, they had that collapse, but it'd be a good little short-term redemption, because it's obviously not like a long-term thing. They lost their way for however long, and then they'd be getting it back. The Brewers, they have the Euchre connection where he passed, and they'll be winning it for him. They were one of, if not the best teams in the whole league this entire season. And again, they never won a World Series, so that's an easy one. And finishing up at number 1, because this video is over 11 minutes now, the Seattle Mariners and the San Diego Padres. Two of my favorite teams. I grew up as a huge King Griffey Jr. fan. Loved me some Randy Johnson, Ichiro, Felix Hernandez, now Julio Rodriguez, Cal Raleigh, pitching staff. Who's my favorite pitcher of the 5? I'm a big Brian Wu guy. It sucks that it seems like he's injured right now, and Kirby's kind of been not great this season. He gets Castillo made his bag. Now he's kind of declined. Anyway, or was it Kirby or Miller? One of the two, I'm forgetting now, but one of the two hasn't been that great this year. Maybe both to some extent. Anyway, offensively, they've obviously picked it up. They've gone from one of the worst teams. Granted, they have that park factor issue, hired a new hitting coach, maybe adjusted some things in the park. It's hot in here, oh my gosh. I have to pass out. Anyway, made some deadline deals that didn't mortgage the future, which is awesome from a GM and sustainability standpoint. It'd be cool. They never won. They haven't really come close. I don't think they've even been to the World Series before. That would be awesome, even if they just made it. Over to the Padres. What's weird about the Padres and why I don't think I could pick between the two, but if I were to maybe just have to pick, I'd probably go with the Padres this time. The reason they're here is when I watched football before they moved, I was a Chargers fan, and this is like obviously their other team in the city that, well, they were in the city, obviously. I'm talking about the Chargers. So San Diego's all they really have. I guess there's that MLS team now, but I don't watch MLS because it's on Apple TV and I'm not paying for that. I got my boy Machado, Merrill, Tatis. Potentially the last go around with Cease and King. Yu Darvish is there. Luis Ariz, the Hit King. Made some splashes. Mason Miller. Our guys, Ryan O'Hearn, Ramon Laureano. I think from the fact that the Mariners actually do have guys in the farm and haven't done anything too crazy in free agency, I think I might barely go Padres if I had to pick, but I'd be really happy with either winning, obviously. Same thing with the Brewers, same thing with the Tigers. I just have that as a slightly above, well, a good amount above, but that's just because I'm not the biggest backer of the Brewers. I think they along with the Rays and Guardians, it would be nice if they won, just because I haven't seen the Guardians win ever, obviously, or the Indians. And then obviously the Brewers and Rays haven't. I mean, yeah, Brewers and Rays haven't, but I'm not the biggest being cheap, having results, for lack of a better way to put it, guy. Again, I'm not saying I want the Dodgers and Mets and Yankees to be in the World Series every year. That's not what I'm saying either. I think there's a fine balance. And the Brewers have spent more than they could have done and been cheap, but they also don't spend that much. So those are my ranks. What do you guys think? Thanks for watching. Peace.